The following podcast contains strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. Aya! Aya! You fool! You oaf! Aya!
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hey kid, stop talking to me like that. It's me, Raphael.
I pictured Neil Breen saying that. Hey everybody, welcome back to the 4 a.m. podcast. The podcast about movies for dorks, by dorks, comprised of fat boys. I'm your host. My name is Rob. I'm joined at the table by these hooligans who will name themselves in no particular order.
Tony the Destroyer.
Oh, it goes counterclockwise.
I mean,
He did just say no particular order, but
I did.
Matt's back! Brr, brr, brr.
Matt is back again.
all right, I'll go. The High Lord of Caldors.
Damn it! That's what I was going to do! I'm not saying I didn't say I was Joe Galvin. I'm Joe Galvin. Ish.
We call him Jogelvin.
Jogelvin. Aya!
Okay, alright, anyway, Matt's also here.
Smacking sounds commence.
We covered that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe.
It's gonna be a chopperific episode, guys. Just gird your loins for that.
My cheese death sauce has already congealed.
Yeah, mine too.
Um,
We had a birthday, and birthdays are always special around here.
whose
We
birthday is it?
It's little Johnny's birthday.
Mine's all mine.
Jonathan,
He's the old boy.
I have one question for you.
I am old boy. Kill your ass.
What is best in life?
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women.
All right, but what if you can't afford to do that and you have to play second fiddle to like some redheaded woman who you have to beat up to marry?
That's my life. Wait, no, I didn't get to marry anyone. Never mind.
Or, well, to fuck. We'll go with
Well, then you get the best of both worlds.
Hannah Montana.
The Hannah Montana special.
Okay. Red Sonja is what we watched.
Yeah.
What we
Yeah.
viewed,
Experience.
It sure was there.
experienced, took into our faces. Tony,
That was my fault.
it was your fault. Well, no, I mean,
It was a birthday present.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
All right.
It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So we did Red Sonja from 1985, rated PG-13, directed by Richard Fleischer, who also did Conan the Destroyer, Amityville 3D, Tough Enough, and Soylent Green, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
And the jazz singer. That's 'cause
Okay.
Did you say
Red Sonja was pretty much the jazz singer.
Amityville 3D? Yes.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah, that was a thing. Back in some point in the 80s.
How did it stack up to
Wait.
Jaws 3D?
Better? Well, depending on how you want to look at it. I would probably watch Jaws 3D again, because it's so stupid it's fun, but
I mean, you've heard of Jaws 3D.
For all the wrong reasons.
About this movie, there's a lot going on here. Some of it might have to come out as we talk more with this, but technically a Marvel character, so this is technically the first Marvel movie. For fun.
Did it beat Howard the Duck?
Did.
Did it really? Wow.
They had trouble casting the lead role for Red Sonja, and according to IMDb, at least, Sigourney Weaver was even considered to play the part at one point. Yeah, I know.
I mean, she's got the size, but that's about it.
Yeah, but thankfully, he happened across a young Brigitte Nielsen who was she was just a model. Yeah, she was a model. So, we'll get into this as we get into this whole movie. But also, this was produced by Dino De Laurentiis, who had a contract with Schwarzenegger for the Conan movies. He was supposed to be Conan in this, but they didn't have the rights, so they just called him Caldor. Yeah, basically.
Or Caldor. I believe it's Calidor, or am I?
No,
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
but just 80
But
Caldors.
he's Lord Caldor.
Yeah. People
but
that are listening to this, if they're under 30, will No idea what we're
Guys, Ames is coming back this year.
Oh.
They're opening like 7 stores.
Ames?
Ames.
Wow.
How did that return before Toys R Us?
Better business decision making.
Yeah. It's. I think everybody has a better business decision. Toys R Us.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Toys R Us is open in Texas.
Oh,
Now, Tony, I just want to jump in and ask a question though. Like you were mentioning that first Marvel movie claim, like if Conan the Barbarian, like Conan comics were around like the 70s, right?
Was that
the
Marvel though?
It was under the Marvel label.
yeah.
And
I mean,
also, well, if that's the case, why didn't they have the rights to Conan for this?
Well,
And why isn't Conan the
is it
first
possible,
Oh, I
Marvel,
see what you're
Marvel
saying.
movie?
That's what I'm saying is.
And why does Santa's reindeer know how to fly?
But would the argument then be that Conan is following like the novel canon
Gedrin!
versus comic canon?
Where
like, did
are
Red Sonja
you?
exist as a novel or just as the comic character, and that's the basis?
Yeah, Tony.
that
The hell.
I did not think to research all this, so I'll get back to you on a different episode.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know
Sorry to throw
because
you off.
well, no, the whole thing because Red Sonja originally was written, but I don't even remember by who in some magazine. She then became a recurring character in the Conan series, which. The people who have and hadn't had the rights of Conan, Red Sonja, it's fucking all over the map because I believe he's currently a DC character, if I'm not
Probably
mistaken.
Dark Horse.
Or
Yeah.
Dark Horse, yes, thank you. And Red Sonja is like whatever that one. I think that's like borderline porn. I don't know.
Well,
it's weird.
From what I understand, in 2013, they sort of rebooted her, and it's just a disaster.
Oh yeah, there's it's a fucking long story. I had a lot to read and got very little out of it. But
She's no longer like a softcore porn character, but it's like every woke trope possible. I heard.
Yay.
That's a whole mess
Yeah.
we don't need to get into right now. But you might be right. I don't know. More importantly, Dino De Laurentiis, like I said, producer, had a contract, a long-standing contract with Schwarzenegger. They lost the rights to Conan, so he couldn't do it. But he was supposed to have a cameo in this. That cameo got extended, and he got top billing over Brigitte Nielsen. And he basically was like, fuck you, I'm getting out of this contract and everything. It was a whole mess there, too. In some countries, I think this is even called Caldor, whatever the fuck his name is.
Caldor's the movie.
Yeah, so... and
A lot of Beast Wars there.
yeah, supposedly Schwarzenegger thinks this is the worst movie he's ever made.
Has he watched his movie?
Yeah, he has not watched any of his movies.
Well,
apparently.
I like the child abuse tie-in where he threatens his children with showing this to them
Yes.
if they misbehave.
And apparently...
All of his kids?
Maria
or just the legitimate ones?
Well, yeah, apparently Maria Shriver also said, like, if this doesn't kill your career, nothing will. I was like, oh, lady, you don't know what's coming.
Wait, was he with Maria Shriver back then?
He was living with her. He was living with Maria Shriver at the time. They were not married yet, but he was shacking up with Brigitte Nielsen while they were on set for Red Sonja. And it was, I think, supposedly it was fucking. Oh, sorry. Am I allowed? I don't even
No,
remember.
this is a Christian
Okay,
podcast.
all right. Fucking around with Brigitte Nielsen, that supposedly made him evaluate what he wanted and decided he was going to go marry Maria Shriver. So, but because I remember like reading that there, like he admitted to it in his autobiography thing years ago.
Yeah.
But Brigitte Nielsen said something that was along the lines of like, "Yeah, no act was unpermitted. We really tried everything," and it was like. Kind of messed up.
Whoa.
But yeah, so they were living together.
I found she had too much flesh on her face.
All right, so I want to guess how much money this movie cost to make.
$20 million.
Yeah, thanks, CD Rob.
I think 25, even though that strikes me as wrong because it's 85, but I feel like 25 is the number.
Are those honest to God gumdrops over there?
Yeah.
They had some big set pieces. I'm going to roll with 14.9 million.
18.
We're all over the map.
Fuck. John in at the last minute. Yeah, it's $18 million.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Okay.
You want to guess how much it made?
Not that.
6.
I'm gonna guess 12.
I think 9.
What? Oh no!
Are we talking?
Oh no!
Don't do that. Just
Did everybody but Matt overshoot?
Is this like AOC's movie?
$1 and a box of condoms.
I was wondering if John was going to
Magnums,
snake it again.
though.
It was $7 million.
Oh, my wager was 6.
Yes.
Yeah, but your reaction, I was just like, wow, that's...
No, but my reaction was more like, because you were so close, I was like waiting for John to just be like 7 and like hit it right on again.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's...
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah, this was not
Joe,
particularly well
your
done.
mouth is full of cheese. Who's in this movie?
Movie need
Oh, Arnold
Emma's
Schwarzenegger.
gonna love this episode.
Bridget Nielsen.
B-E-X?
S.
S said to keep eating, so I did. I never stopped.
No, yeah, we don't. Can't
You
stop.
got
won't
the
stop.
guy from Indiana Jones, the the
Harrison
Nazi
Ford.
guy, Melty Face as Eigel.
Michael, that's his name. Melty face.
Melty Face. Yep.
It
Hang
don't
on.
matter.
Give me 1 second. What was this movie
So,
watched again?
so Tony, while Joe is looking, while Joe is looking that up, actually, John, while Joe is looking that up,
What?
who do we have at the table?
Who do we have?
Yeah, what's all this shit? Name all this shit we have on the table,
Well,
please.
we've got like one plate of what appears to be homemade cookies. I don't know from who.
Not me.
We've got a whole sack full of holiday pomegranate hard candies that are apparently a product of Mexico.
Sweet. They got that real sugar.
We've got another plate of cookies that appear to be
From stores.
Snickerdoodle Oreos, some sort of chocolate pretzels,
Peanut butter covered pretzels.
peanut butter covered pretzels with
Oreos and M&Ms.
They're not spicy.
okay, and M&Ms and Oreos.
Not spicy.
No,
No.
Matt just stole one.
Yeah. Didn't steal it. They're there for everybody.
Some sort of Christmas tree cookie wafer thing that I'm going to take one of.
Yep.
We've also got Monaco spiced waffle cookies.
A bevy of old people candies.
We've got a whole bag of peppermint candies, also a product of Mexico.
Yes.
A big old sack of gumdrops.
Oh, I want that gumdrop in my mouth.
And
Are they also from Mexico?
They are from Mexico.
Sean, have you ever pooped a balloon?
And Dutch speculas
From Mexico.
spiced cookies.
Probably.
From Dutch.
No, they are literally.
Or Morgan.
These are product of the Netherlands.
Okay.
Schwarzenegger character?
Just like
or-
Brigitte Nielsen.
Oh yeah, I'm cutting back in.
Yay!
Arnold Schwarzenegger is Keldors. Bridget Nielsen is Red Sonja. Sandal Bergman is
It's
Queen
Kmart.
Gedrin. Paul L. Smith is Falcon. Ernie Reyes Jr. is Prince Tarn. And then the next 3 people, they literally just took from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yep.
Ronald Lacey as Ikoi, Pat Roach as Burtag, and Terry Richards as Jart. For those of you that don't know, Terry Richards was the guy with the scimitars in the market who Indy just shot.
Yep.
And
As
Pat Roach
Jart.
was the man with the mustache that he had fisticuffs with by the plane that
Sweet
famously goes
mustache.
through the propeller.
Yeah, just the guy that goes through the propeller. That's all people need to know.
Pat Roach is in a lot of Arnold movies as just a dude who gets beaten up.
Maybe they're buddies.
And also, Icor is just Loki back.
What?
Or whatever the
Yeah, Icol.
Icol.
Oh,
Loki
and the
backwards.
Okay, right. Icor. I was like,
Yeah, I can't talk.
okay. I will say you both did a great job. However, John, you did not mention cheese dip,
There's the death cheese dip.
which is kind of a big.
Can we reveal the proprietary recipe for cheese death?
Yeah, you really want.
Well, the cheese dip I refer to as cheese death.
Okay. It is a block of Velveeta cheese and a can or 2 of Rotel diced tomatoes and peppers. Warm it until it's melted and eat it.
There go, Joe.
Boo! Mind blown, everybody!
Yeah, and then just feel
Mind
your
you-
arteries slowing down.
Me who only cooks with a microwave, that is fucking sorcery.
I mean, I had to cut the block of cheese up and open the cans, I guess.
And actually use a hot, crock pot.
I
Yeah.
did use a crock pot with a liner.
That's too advanced for Joe.
I didn't
beyond
stay
my
over a
tech
hot
level.
crock pot for 6 minutes. just
Stirring
for-
occasionally. I think I could probably use a little bit more cheese though. Do we have more cheese?
Oh yeah.
Pretty.
There's a robust supply.
Cheese is getting pretty low there, pal.
Velveeta.
I'll need some more things. All right, so this movie starts off pretty rapey.
Well, starts off as all good
you're
sword and
correct.
sorcery movies start with a text crawl.
And as all bad ones do,
Yes.
too.
And a burning homestead.
It's like, it's a really, really blocky font that is hard to read. It's basically like, you don't care, I don't care. No one's reading this.
The E's look like
The
bees.
E's look like bees.
We're in the kingdom of Hyboria.
Burn.
There's a fierce warrior woman with flaming red hair. And she's Red Sonja.
The carpet matches the
Now here's
drapes.
her getting raped.
Yeah, now we get pretty rapey. It opens up on a burning house. This, like, Queen Gedrin shows up. She's like, yo, Red Sonja, you're hot. Let me hit that. Red Sonja's like, I'll hit you in the face with this club. Scars her. And then,
like girls.
yeah, Gedrin's like, oh, well, then I'm going to have my men ravage you, kill your parents, burn your house down,
Kill your parents, kill your brother.
take your horse
Kill,
off a
kill your,
cliff.
kill your hymen.
You know.
No. So, this queen is pretty horny for this Red Sonja.
Yeah.
So horny.
So horny for her.
I mean,
Looking pretty good.
yeah.
She's like, I put on my scissoring armor.
Yeah.
My crotchless scissoring armor. I'm gonna be doing some scissoring.
So, for those of you not familiar with the actress,
With the act of scissoring.
lady who, well, no, I'm not going to explain that. But the lady who plays
Please, Joe,
Queen
please.
Queen Gedrin is the what's her name from Conan, Valeria.
Wait, she's also in
Valeria.
Conan?
Yeah.
That was
So-
Valeria with
Valeria.
Yeah.
black hair.
And Valeria, I think, was at least offered an audition for Red Sonja, but said no.
Yeah,
She wanted to
do
play
that
the bad guy.
just to make things even more confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Just
I know
recycle half the cast.
I know in the previous Conan movie I kind of played like a Red Sonja like character, but gonna be in this one just as the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, by the way,
She likes that shiny armor.
we need to eat everything on this table.
We're working on it. We're going. All right. So yeah, she's defiled. Her parents are dead. Her brother's dead. Her horses are dead. The house is dead. Crops are dead. And then this random ghost. I don't even know if we get a name.
I think it was supposed to be some sort of deity.
Yeah,
The
just-
Ghost of Christmas Past.
Ghost of Christmas Past shows up. It's like, I'm gonna poke you in the forehead with my sword. It's gonna give you all kinds of divine power.
She does need.
Strong as a
Yeah.
man.
But don't get touched by him.
Yeah, no, not unless he could beat you in a fair fight. Also, here's a title card.
That's what Matt's gonna tell his daughter.
Here's a title card.
Yeah.
Or it
Yeah.
won't be touched by.
And then it
Make you
just
strong as a man. Just don't let yourself be touched by one.
cut to Arnold
John's
Schwarzenegger
gonna
riding a
train you.
horse throughout the Italian countryside
Don't like where that
forever. Just like
fighting.
10 minutes of Arnold on a horse. I think they just let him out and he got lost.
Yeah.
And then finally he comes to a rope bridge which has been cut, and he's just like, damn, I'm going to be late to the big old teepee temple where there's a bunch of ladies with silly hats that are about to destroy this glowing green talisman. They're going to cast it into the darkness because this talisman is powered by light.
So he's some sort of like.
It's the Lord of Caldors.
Lord
It's his responsibility to see it destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ladies just keep it because they can touch it.
So
He's a
where's
Lord
his
Guardian.
Where's his castle? Like at the mall, in the back, like in the stock room.
He,
By the shady
It's across the street
wind
from
tunnel.
the land of Bradley.
yeah. It's like in Minecraft where you don't have a mini map mod. You just build this awesome building, and
Oh,
then
it's just somewhere?
you've lost it. Like you're,
You can't go back there.
yeah, you log
You
since.
just build another one the next time you stop.
Yeah,
Also, if you missed
It's
the
a
title
basement.
card, the cinematography for the first 5 minutes is just like straight up spaghetti western.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Meg? Well, weren't most of Sergio Leone's like actually filmed in like Europe or something?
Spain.
Like Spain? Okay.
Well, yeah, I forgot some of the things now, but one of the Conans was in Spain. This, I believe, was
This is
primarily Italy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could tell the credits at the end looked like my friggin' family reunion.
but I mean, this is like spaghetti western territory. Like Probably some of these shots have been in other Western films.
I mean, once you get Ennio Morricone to get your to do your like theme, your soundtrack, you pretty much know what you're in for.
And honestly, I think of everyone involved in the movie, he probably tried the hardest. So like they're doing this ceremony to destroy the glowing green talisman, and the melty faced Nazi from Indiana Jones, Eichel, he's just like up on like the top of the teepee, and he just throws a ninja star right into the head priest's like most armored part, and then you see her later and it's like a fucking bloodbath. Like she got hit with a Sam Raimi blood geyser, but she's just like dies. And then a bunch of men wearing equally silly hats, possibly even sillier hats, come storming in, and we get a fracas.
I could not keep track of all the silly hats in this movie. There's so many.
Or the sword fights, for that matter.
Well, you're watching a bunch of black dudes give it to a bunch of white women. Dudes wearing black.
I would like to point out.
Long pause.
That did not come out of my mouth, everybody here.
And
I think Joe opened up the wrong tab.
That was
Please say the ladies are they're doing all right in the beginning. They're fighting them off, but then they get the door closed. But there's a whole nother wave of dudes rappelling in from behind.
It looked like it was really a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
You might say they got double teamed.
They got double teamed, yeah. From the front and the back. And some of the women get taken prisoner. Most of them get killed. There's this one redheaded chick named Varna who's just like, I'm just going to not move and hide behind this pillar, which seems to fool them. I guess they have really bad peripheral vision in the silly helmets.
Yeah.
Being black and all.
Mm-hmm.
Joe. The hell,
Don't
Joe.
blame that one on me. All right, so now
they have like blinders on their helmets. Or I mean, it's not even that. It's like they're wearing.
They have like, well, some of them. There's a wide variety, but they have like a helmet with like a skull that has a helmet with horns and like one of those mohawk feathery deals.
And they only have like a samurai like eye slit to see out of.
Yeah.
So after the battle basically calms down, there's like 4 or 5 of these ladies left prisoner, and Queen Gedrin comes in, and she takes the talisman, and she just has one of her dudes touch it, and he's just immediately jump cutted out of the movie. Just whoop, whoop, disappears.
First he gets highlighted green.
Mm-hmm. Then she has her handmaiden or whatever touch it, and she's fine. So
she is definitely fine.
Only ladies can touch it. So she tells 4 dudes to pick it up.
It's my rule too.
Yep.
Well, present company excluded.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're the 4 dudes that pick it up. So
good on them for being able to create this little cage thing to carry it to. Somehow they just knew its measurements. It's well done.
So yeah, they're leaving with it. Well, meanwhile, Varna here finds a secret wall, escapes, but like 3 dudes with crossbows are like, "I see you." They chase her down. She's outrunning them, but then it's zipline time. Just random medieval zip lines.
Just a zip line.
Mm-hmm.
Across the canyon.
Who put that zip line there?
Mm-hmm.
I think this was early Parmesan from Gymkhana.
Oh god,
those have been there forever. No one knows.
There.
Yeah, they weren't in the right area, but if they were, she would have found the pommel horse.
The royal zip lines
time.
placed by the gods.
Yeah.
So she gets the shit crossbowed out of her, and she swoops right into the arms of a waiting Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's just like, his facial expression doesn't change. She's just like, okay. And takes her and puts her down by a tree, immediately pulls the bolt out of her back, so she bleeds to death.
Yeah. The least medically appropriate way to approach that problem.
He knows how to kill things, not save them.
Yeah, he begins the initial process of like pulling the ripcord on his brain to form a sentence when like 7 dudes run out to fight him. And a common theme through this movie is everyone knows how to throw one attack, and that's it. Like if you block that, they are totally susceptible to your counter. They just hold their sword where they swung it, and just leave it there.
I hope you like overhand swings, because that's what you're getting in this.
That's all anyone's been taught. None of the other moves have been invented yet.
Lift your sword up with both hands, scream, and run at your enemy.
Yeah, so Arnold just easily dispatches all these dudes, including a sick decapitation on the last one, where they clearly just took a doll head in a helmet and just hucked it up in the air. Because there's like 3 or 4 decapitations in this movie where you never see the head leave the body. Like, it's just a head flying through the air.
You think it was the same mannequin head each time?
Well, but you could tell by the silly hats. Those keep changing.
Well, but they could just be changing the same. You know,
that's true.
hats
Yeah,
out on the same
slapping a mustache on it for
Yeah.
the wizard. All right. So either way, Arnold, Varna's like, you gotta get my sister, Red Sonja. Arnold's like, all right, I guess I'll just leave you here, and we gotta go find Red Sonja. And we cut to the weirdest looking man in the world. The alleged Grand Master is like he's like a James Hong with I don't even know who has that hair.
He's evolving into a Mothra.
Like a Queen Amidala hair, kinda.
Yeah.
But it's white, and then he's wearing a white robe with like black accents, and then he has like 6 flags coming out of him that make him, have like the wingspan of an Andean condor. It just looks so friggin' weird. And there's like a man in like a black Zardoz outfit trying to fight Bridget Nielsen, and she's just beating his ass. And as she does, apparently you show approval for good fighting by slapping the side of your sword on your breast, because there's a bunch of guys there whose helmets literally have blinders on them, just going like, and
they got heartburn.
Yeah. And this guy just gets the shit kicked out of him.
She was like, make some noise.
Yeah. And then like the Grand Master's like, oh, you fight so good, but maybe you should think about maybe kissing a boy. And she's like, I won't.
Boys are icky.
He's like, that's your vulnerability. You don't like the men.
You're too sexy to not like the men.
Indeed.
Years away from that being an acceptable thing.
Now go into my sword hut and have a hallucination. So yeah, she walks in a room full of swords, and one of them just goes like, Sonja.
John's used that move on women before, though. Sets up into his sword.
And yeah, veritable Bud K catalog.
There can be only one.
Here, and she pulls out this sword that looks like it's so friggin' front-weighted that it would be borderline unusable.
Especially by someone of her size.
Mm-hmm. What say you, John?
Yeah, no, that's a ridiculous. The balance would be way off.
It's probably made of aluminum.
So it has like a diesel guard and then like another ornament or two past
Yeah,
the
it's
guard.
got like a crescent moon-shaped
Little winglings
thing
hanging off.
Yeah, it's probably a reference to femininity.
I mean,
Sounds like I don't understand this. It's probably a reference to femininity.
it's probably a vagina. I mean, it does look like
Probably
it
designed to
looks
look
like the
like
same
them
symbol
lady
that the ladies had on their hats. At the
Possibly.
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
Magic.
you might be right.
I missed that.
Wow.
So
It looks like an upside down vagina.
so yeah, Arnold appears. He's like, I need Red Sonja.
I've never seen one.
Takes her to see her
about
sister,
him.
who's just hanging out under a giant bull
Bleeding.
rock.
Yeah,
bleeding
he took her to Beetlejuice's garden
Yeah.
to die.
Yeah, it had like a
Sorry, I've never had to pull out before.
Yeah.
had like a calf skull and like a giant armadillo feet, and I don't know what the hell was going on with this thing.
And yeah, so Sonia comes over and her sister is like, he pulled the arrow out and just left it there. Like, I'm bleeding to death. And she's like, you gotta stop Gedrin in 13 days, or the talisman's just gonna fuck everything up. It's too powerful. And then I couldn't hear the rest of what she said because at this point it was revealed that Arnold is named Caldors, and we all had a good laugh. So then we see Sonia burn her sister's corpse, and we see shall we say, a storm cloud off in the distance?
Yeah, we'll say that.
That's what it was purporting to be.
It looks about as good as the storms we saw in the Rankin Bass movies we watched.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure somewhere under that there's a killer that's putting his soul in a doll.
Yeah.
So turns out that's the kingdom of Hablock, and it's ruled by a very young Ernie Reyes Jr. And Rob is about to throw up.
Nope, I got it. I choked it down.
All right.
We're good.
So Caldor's like, hey, can I come? And Bridget's like, no, you're a boy. I don't like you.
I'm Blueberry.
And he's like, fine, I'll follow you.
There's probably more in there if you want.
So they go to, she goes into Hablock and basically finds Ernie Reyes Jr., who at this point I don't know his name, so I called him Prince Little Shit.
Yeah.
And this big guy just fucking around with a hand. Like, Ernie Reyes Jr. is just standing on the fingers over a vat of boiling mud, like a bog of eternal stench.
It's like a giant stone hand. I mean, they didn't just find a hand and, like, you know.
Yeah, giant stone hand.
Playing jerk-off games with it.
I don't know, that Cowardillo thing might have been alive at some points. Maybe his hand was. I don't know.
So, like, yeah, Falcon's holding it down. Sonja comes by and holds it so, like, the prince can get off, and then do with that what you will. And then, like, we find out basically that Gedrin came over, was like, told Hablock to surrender, destroyed half of it, and then Ernie Reyes Jr., the prince, he was like, I ain't surrendering, so she destroyed the other half of it and moved on. And all of his subjects have left, so the entirety of Hablock now consists of Ernie Reyes Jr. as Prince Tarn, a little shitty 6-year-old, and this big guy with a large bone club named Falcon. And I believe he has 4 daggers across his chest.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And he played Bluto in the Robin Williams Popeye movie.
Mm-hmm. We also find out that Queen Gedrin lives in the kingdom of Birklebane, land of eternal night.
Outside the river of Hooky Blooky.
So,
Spooky Booky.
Ookie Kooky.
she's like, all right, well, screw you two. I'm leaving you behind. I'm off. I travel alone. I got to go talk to this guy Bertag because I need him to open a gate for me. Apparently, like, Bertag's built like a wall across the world. I don't know why this one gate is so important.
He's basically medieval Trump, and like, she just needs to get out of America.
Yeah. So he's like, "Yo, come up here. You wanna go through that door? You got paid the toll."
The troll toll.
Yeah, and that means I gotta access your lady hole. And she's like, "I'll just fucking kill you." And he's like, "No, you won't." And yeah, I'm
gonna put my wiener on you.
They have a bit of a sword fight, but it doesn't last very long. And Sonja eventually cuts his belly open and stabs him, and he bleeds to death on his bed, couch, throne thing.
His brouch.
And
his race car throne.
The rest of the guys who are wearing possibly the silliest helmets in the entire film.
Also possibly tights?
Well, they're not wearing pants.
No.
Several of them looked like Ashy Larry.
Yeah.
They did look like Ashy Larry.
None of them have bathed in a long time.
Yeah, that could be it. Maybe they were just dirty and it looked like they were wearing tights.
Mm-hmm.
All of them were dressed like they were backup dancers at in a Janet Jackson music video. Like, whatever the fuck was going on.
They had a sort of bird theme on their masks. Oh, lizards. That's right. Yeah. Lizard, yeah. So the soldiers are kind of like closing in on her, but they're all like, I don't want to be the first guy that goes over there.
She just killed our, like, king.
And Arnold's just like, doop, doop, doop. Oh! Yeah! Just murders this one guy with like a full jumping slash. Yeah. And he just starts killing everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And like, Red Sonja's like, I'm not going to save you. I'm just leaving. And he's like, that's fine. Close the gate. Leave me in here with him.
I didn't come here to get out.
And so she keeps going. And he's just like, ha ha, like Baron Munchausen style on a horse running around beheading people.
This is what I do best.
And we immediately cut back to Prince Tarn, who is being drawn and quartered by some highwaymen. And you see little Ernie Reyes getting stretched.
Currently just drawn.
And, what's the guy from, this bandit guy? He looks like Riff Raff from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
I mean,
with a really dumb hat.
Yeah, he looks like he's doing his very best Captain Jack Sparrow impression.
And
I believe as Matt said while watching this, but the food is played by Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Or
But like really coked out Tom Petty.
Or John C. McGinley, or
Don't hurt yourself.
He's basically like, I can tell by your hat you must have a lot of gold. And he's like, I don't have any gold, you ruffian.
I'm not wearing a hat at the moment, you dick.
Cretin.
And fucking
He had that.
yeah, this kid has
Screaming eels.
this kid has a potty mouth, by the way.
Red Sonja
Very abusive.
comes upon this, and it's borderline like Sir Lancelot's assault on the castle. Like she holds her sword up and goes like, ah! running from like a whole football field away. Just like cuts the ropes free and starts fighting these dudes. One of which is just one of the ones on the horse just slams his face into a tree branch. She just outright murders the Tom Petty looking guy. Falcon, who's been skulking in the woods this whole time, throws a dagger into another dude, pulls an entire horse over by grabbing the rope, and then just beats the guy riding the horse with his bone club.
Now, the guy that played Falcon, I know he was in a bunch of things, but like, did he ever do anything else? Like, was he ever a wrestler, or like?
I don't know.
Because he's got some decent physicality.
He was just a big dude.
He's just
from what
big.
I can tell.
Yeah, he just uses his bigness, I
Like you
guess.
said, I forgot, what was the bad guy that just died in Joe's recap? What was his name again? Bygoth, whatever.
Bertag.
Bertag, yeah, whatever, Bertag. Like, because he was a pro wrestler
Yeah.
and martial artist, but I couldn't find anything for Paul Smith there,
What?
aside from being Pluto.
Yeah, I guess that's
His job is playing a large man.
What do we think of Falcon's signature weapon here? He just has like a giant leg bone
club?
like a larger than normal femur.
He's a Cubone.
I mean,
Yeah.
he has to go out in the field and kill a bunch more great Jagras so he can upgrade that shit.
I thought that was a cool idea though. That's a
Assuming
nice.
That was a Monster Hunter reference.
Yeah, well,
I got like 2 minutes into that.
that's okay.
That's a nice, like, different weapon that actually looks to me like you could fight with that reasonably effectively.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would stand up to continued use.
He never used the pointy end of it. He only ever
Well,
used
we don't
the...
know what weird fucking mythological hybrid shit that came out
That's
of it.
true. It
either.
might have
Yeah.
come
All
out
the
of
weird
that
bones
rock
and
monster
statues.
that the sister died under.
But we also find out that Prince Tarn is a sort of martial artist, and he just kicks the shit out of one of these guys until the guy runs away.
Yeah.
Including a flying kick to the taint at one point.
Yeah.
True. I mean, his martial arts skills go only so far.
And he only knows like 2, maybe 3 martial arts noises.
Oh yeah,
I too have been repeatedly kicked by a toddler. It's
In the
not super
taint.
effective.
No.
And he's just like, "Aya! Sit, sit, aya!"
Especially when the person the toddler is fighting genuinely doesn't care about the toddler's well-being.
So now we cut back to Queen Gedrin and Eichel. They arrive at their evil castle, which I have named Castle Circle Door because I don't know what it's actually called.
Castle butthole door.
Yeah, it has a weird circular door, which I guess that thing would be hard as hell to knock in, but I don't know how you open and close it.
I don't think they know.
Yeah, it's like you gotta tickle you stick your hand in a hole and tickle something.
It seemed to be really fickle. It's like sometimes inserting something would make the door shut, and sometimes inserting it would make the door open.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta catch it in the right mood.
It's true.
You also got to spit on it first.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta get the door like excited about
You
opening.
just got to use your fingertip in the circular motion for a
Yeah,
minute.
the door really should go to the bathroom before you try and enter.
Well, luckily, if it doesn't feel like putting out, you could just climb the faces in the walls to get in.
That's true. You can just force yourself in.
Oh, okay.
So
It's a good weird.
So she's on her Sibian throne.
yeah, Queen Gedrin though, she's like, okay, here's my plan. We need to supercharge this talisman. Let's bring it to the Chamber of Lights, which is a room with like 1,000 fucking candles. It's like,
Yankee candle.
just put it outside, like just put it in
That's
the
where
sun.
the sun
like-
is.
There is no sun. It's the land of
it's the
darkness.
land of eternal darkness.
Yeah,
You can't
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this
okay.
land of eternal darkness is filmed in day for night.
Right.
So clearly the sun is out.
land of eternal day for night.
So yeah, Eichel's like, I don't think this is a good idea. The talisman's already pretty powerful. And, they're about to have an argument when the fucking silliest wizard in the world runs in and he's just like, I have news of enemies approaching.
This shit broke the movie for me.
Yeah.
Bubbles.
Like this, the whole scene is so disparate from the rest of the film. Like It threw me off completely.
It was like if you had Jack Sparrow and like fucking Blippi from YouTube and a Hadron Collider, like just coming out wiggling their fingers,
dressed
and going,
like a Landsneck mercenary shot with a tranquilizer.
My memory,
not a bad.
my memory is garbage, but I know I brought this up not that long ago, and I'm sad I have to do it again. But once again, this character is way too close to Tingle for my life.
Yeah.
Tingle?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
right?
It looks like, wait, we're talking Zelda. Tingle?
Yeah.
It looks like Santa's friend Merlin.
So while your defenses
It looks like Santa's other friend.
Yeah, other friend,
who,
special
like,
friend.
Yeah, watches the kids for him in a van by the
Who was the
school.
freaky elf guy in the Rankin and Bass like claymation things that he was always like doing weird flipping
Also
things?
Tingle.
Wait, that's what I was gonna ask. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
And
that was my
which is-
first thought. And then
Wait,
This is what I thought you
Zelda
meant.
was
one.
he
But he's kind of like
Tingler?
both.
Yes.
Or
there-
I mean, he was a tingler.
He was Tingler.
He was arrested for tingling.
Yeah.
He can't go within
just-
500
we
yards
just-
of any schools
We just did that last.
on account of
Yeah.
the tingling.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, because it's a 1-2 punch.
Oh, so
Because
that is the one that made me bring it up. Sorry.
while you're
okay.
shaking off the cobwebs from that, like you are not prepared for her just to walk near the throne and pet the most ridiculous spider puppet, which is this like friggin' kind of cute, hairy, giant tarantula thing it can't move anywhere, but its legs can gyrate up and down.
Well, they went to Caldor's.
Yep.
They found a He-Man Spydor figure,
Mhm.
and then they went to Joanne Fabrics and found some fur and put the fur on the Spydor.
I think what you meant to say is they went to Keldor, and when they found it was closed, it was replaced with a Spirit Halloween, so they just took a spider home.
That's fair.
Also, am I nuts? Does this ever come up again?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Yeah,
no
okay.
reason for it
It's just a
whatsoever.
bat.
That's what I thought, but
I'm pretty sure it also has eyebrows.
I believe so.
Should I be able to also reasonably assume that the majority of people listening to you are old enough to remember Caldors?
No.
Like
We make no assumptions
we don't
here.
care.
No.
one
Will,
out 2 8 back.
Will don't know about
Really?
Caldors.
Yeah, Will doesn't.
You know what? You got Google. Figure it out.
Yeah. So
Will doesn't know about Walmart.
she's like, bring out the internet. Let's look at these fucking these intruders. And they have this one muscly man whose job is just to push this big metal dish out. And the wizard like does his little mumbo jumbo to fire it up. And
Tingle jingle.
of course, the last thing they were tingle jingling to was some topless woman dancing around by a smoke machine.
I missed that.
Yeah. Oh, her titties
Yeah.
were
Oh,
out.
yeah.
He forgot to clear his browsing history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did I... Wait,
So-
no, I saw... Okay, no, I saw that. I didn't realize she had her tits out.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
But I think because I was too busy writing down that it was like the same thing that Chewbacca's dad jerks off to in the
Yeah,
Star Wars
yes.
holiday special.
Except she got to see actual.
All right, I'm gonna have to rewatch the
What
film.
was his name
And-
again? Itchy?
Itchy,
Yep.
Itchy Baka,
Also Lumpy Baka.
Lumpy Baka, and Malabaka, which sounds like an Italian curse word.
You Malabaka.
Somebody get these Malabaka off of my lawn.
I don't know. I feel like
I
Catch
hate-
your itchy baka mouth.
This
we'd be
place,
called a lumpy baka if we ever went to Japan.
this place was so much better before all these Malabaka moved into the neighborhood.
So Queen Gedrin looks at the wizard like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Please go to the correct channel.
Chris Pratt, if you ever need Italian lessons, you can just go on over.
I read that Italians were actually missing 5 bones in their wrist compared to other
Oh
people.
yeah, it's terrible. Like I have severe carpal tunnel
No, yeah, right.
throughout the whole
So-
entire.
Didn't you
country.
hear? He's totally got this covered. He's spent his whole life trying to beat up Koopas.
Okay.
Never mind. All right.
All right. So
Hopefully somebody got that.
basically the wizard's magic hijacks the movie's cameras, and we just get a close up of Prince Tarn and Falcon, and then Red Sonja, and she's like, "Oh, I want that lady.
Yeah.
She used to be unharmed, but you could kill the little shit and his fat fucker following him." So
But when you find her, shave just the sides of her head.
like already done, ma'am.
I've been trying to bang her since high school.
So we reach Birkelbane, and Birkelbane is surrounded by a giant chasm. But luckily, there's like some ginormous cow thing just fell such that its ass and face were stuck on either end of the chasm. And it was just like, well, I guess I'm gonna die now.
Like a dinosaur, maybe.
I'm pretty sure it was trying to.
Oh, it was a unicorn too,
and then it fell in.
However, the horn was curved like a rhino horn. It wasn't straight out like a unicorn.
Was it supposed to be a dragon? Everybody, is that what we're?
It was a drawers.
Unicornosaurus.
Yeah, it was
Unicornosaurus.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a mythical saurus.
So
Unicornosaurus.
It's weird. Every Friday I have a mythical sore ass too.
So Tarn just starts talking a bunch of shit at this point. He just releases a barrage of filth. Things I will not repeat here. So
wait. Why not?
That's your job.
You piece of shit. Go sit in this fucking tower and fucking down.
Let me see if I can get some of these down. Now,
what happened next, Joe?
There may be some racial epithets in here.
What happened next, Joe?
Yeah, give him the Doritos. Red Sonja then is just like, that's it. I'm whooping your ass. I don't care that you're like 6. Just takes him off his horse, puts him over her knee. Falcon comes in and stops her, though.
He's like, spank me, ma'am.
Yeah.
I beg of you.
He does offer. He's like, if you're going to hit anyone, hit me. She's like, I don't want to touch you, like, ever.
I deserve all the pankins, ma'am.
So Tarn decides to, back up there. But next scene, we see that they're all sleeping, except Tarn is practicing with his sword behind a rock.
As adolescents tend to do.
Yeah, gotta have some discretion.
Especially after that, how close he got to a spanking there. He was just...
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
he had to take
and I don't blame him.
He's got to go behind the rock for a little... Hi-ya!
That's why I sat behind the couch, guys.
So...
I broke my wood.
Kill your dragon, John?
So she's like, all right, I'll teach you how to do some sort... No, first they fight. And she just beats Tarn's ass. Like, he tries his flying kick, and she just grabs his ankle and swats him out of the air. And then he tries to stab her with a sword, and she just takes it from him. So he's like, all right, can you teach me how to be a badass? She's like, okay. Gets behind him, puts her hands on his sword. He makes this face that is unacceptable.
Everything about the scene is unacceptable.
She tries to let go. He grabs her hand. He's like, no, continue. And she's like, that's enough sword play for right now.
Could you just go slower, please?
Then
start playing the song from Ghost.
So Gedron's like, all right, use the talisman, make a storm. We'll lure him into the cave with the killing machine. And they go into that cave and they're like, we were obviously led here by that storm, so we should not go any further. Prince Tarn's like, go look for treasure, get in trouble, can do.
Got it.
So he finds a friggin' pearl sticking out of a statue, tells Falcon to steal that shit. And of course, like Goonie style, you take the pearl out and all the water starts rushing in, and the killing machine is unleashed. The killing machine is a serviceable puppet. It almost looks like it's metal.
Yeah.
Here's
I'm sorry.
No, please.
So, like, the killing machine, like, was unleashed because of the removal of the pearl. So their plan for them to be killed by the killing machine was reliant upon them doing that thing for sure.
Yep.
Which
Icole knew what they were about. He knew Tarn was going to swipe that shit.
Okay. I just want to make sure, like, that's the death trap. If somebody's just like, oh, I'm out of time, I got to break it.
Still filling with water. It just started filling faster once.
Okay.
Yeah, but it also feels like, you could control the storm, apparently, just hit him with lightning.
I just don't understand how this was at the same time one of the best and the most terrible effects.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that
all
puppet
at once.
was awesome.
The puppet was really good.
Like, it was
to a point.
It was like Mecha Godzilla-ish with no limbs. It was like snaky,
right?
But...
I think the problem is the monster itself, not the puppet and the special effects work, but the monster itself. I almost called it a Muppet. The monster is questionable in its effectiveness. It appears to barely be able to attack you in the water.
Every time it popped out of the water. Hello!
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be able to get you if you're at all out of the water. Like,
pretty much, yeah.
Can't even, like, go a little bit out of the water or knock you in or anything.
It did lunge at Falcon.
A little bit. Oh, that's right. It went for his tuchus, but he picked it up.
It also had some good hops when it beamed Red Sonja in the head.
He invoked the 80s butt cheek dodge.
So Arnold comes back. He's like, anybody need a Schwarzenegger? And he just jumps on this thing. And this part of the movie looked legitimately fun to film. Like, Arnold's just hanging onto it like, wee. As it just lazily circles the chamber with Arnold on it. He does some Steve Irwin moves, gets it in a headlock.
His
With his
typical
thumb in his
mating
butt.
ritual.
Yeah, he spends like 20 minutes wrestling with this thing just to go like, oh yeah, I can't kill this thing.
Mm-hmm. He tries stabbing it a few times, gets some metal clanky noises, and everyone just watches. They're like, I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish there, but it's not doing much.
No.
So he's like, get it in the eyes! So Sonja jumps in, and while Arnold holds it, Sonja stabs its eyes out. And this part's pretty brutal. Even though they're just, like, pearl eyes, it's still, like, this thing's screaming in pain, and...
That's right. Pearl eyes.
It starts rolling around, and they're just like, we're gonna go. We'll just leave it here.
Pearl eyes from clear eyes.
And it turns out they could have just walked up the staircase in this room the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
They could have, but...
and it couldn't have followed them.
It was a terrible
I
trash.
think the best thing about this scene is that it interrupted the delivery of dialogue for a few minutes.
Yeah, that did help.
Because, I mean, this like, was on par with, no, Dracuic is vampire. Like, just straight up porn level.
Yeah,
Not oh, go ahead.
It's telling that through most of this movie we had to question whether or not this was all ADR or not. And, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they get Tarn out of the water, and he immediately gives Red Sonja a hug, who he then like sneaks a little bit of a feel in there while that's happening.
Pretty slick move on Ernie
I
Reyes
mean,
Jr.'s part.
I try it all the time with my wife, and it does not work out that way.
And then they just leave, and they're in a field where
You try it with Rob's.
Wow. All right.
Just,
Listen, I can't blame you for trying.
So Sonja's trying to like put ointment or something on Arnold's wounds
She
that
has
he
gifts.
got somehow, and Arnold is just giving her this look that is like, I am gonna fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is happening. I've decided. And he's
I'll be generous. You can decide what hole.
so
The answer is both.
yeah, after she finishes applying the bandage,
Or all three.
What holes?
he grabs her and he's just like, it is kiss time. And she's like,
Can't do that.
you have to beat me in a fair fight, you know. And he's like,
So he just punches her.
yeah.
It
Like
clocks
a
her right in the
camel.
face.
Yeah, that
She goes down.
that would have been perfect time. Like, I can't be with anyone unless I win in a fair. Oh, Jesus!
Oh, Christ.
All right, we're doing this now, right?
Okay.
So she's like, I'm gonna go lie down, try to sleep, and he's like, prepare to be conquered. And he draws her sword with his sword, and they have a sword fight. And it's a semi-serviceable fight. I like that Prince Tarn. He's like, oh shit, Sonja's in trouble. So he jumps down onto Caldor's here and like grabs his neck and starts like punching him. And Arnold just grabs his scruff with one hand, like, what did I do with this?
Yeah.
And should we call it? He
Probably
just
how he delivered his illegitimate children, too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He puts Ernie Reyes down, and Sonja's like, thank you for coming to my rescue, but I'm okay. We're just practicing. So they're fighting, and at first Prince Tarn's like, I'm gonna fight too. I want to mime along to this. This is exciting. And then they keep fighting and fighting, and then you see like Ernie Reyes is just sitting there like lazily swinging his sword. And then finally,
My sword's a little raw at this point. I gotta stop.
It's like, even I want him to just bang now. Jeez. God,
yeah.
Do it.
He's like, why does she fight so hard? She doesn't want to win. And eventually they just collapse in exhaustion, too tired to fuck. The fight's a draw. So now it's time to go, after we've expended all of our stamina, let's go sneak into Castle Circle Door.
Great time.
Mm-hmm. We reach Castle Circle Door, and they basically trick Tarn into staying outside because they're like, someone's got to watch the door. And Falcon's like, well, I'm too scared. And Arnold's like, oh, that's too important of a job for me. And then Sonja's like, well, I have to go inside. So he's like, fuck you guys, I'll stay here.
Well, then they stare at him for like 20 minutes while he slowly
it's a
pieces
long
it together.
scene. Whoop.
John has just pooped some sort of electronic device or firearm onto the floor.
Hopefully not a firearm. Like,
Both.
jeez. Electronic device firearm.
New iPhone gun.
I'm
So,
surprised it's not a thing yet.
yeah. Sonja gives him a little bit of a kiss, bids him adieu, and they climb the faces that are just in the wall of Castle Circle Door up to a pipe, climb in there.
Which is not really fair. Because once she kisses him, that's pretty much like, oh, this character's dying. It's weird because it's a kid, but all right, it's the 80s, you know. But she gives him a kiss. That means he's going to die. That's what it's supposed to mean.
We'll see what comes of this.
Oh, yeah. It's the sweet little kiss on the cheek. It's not like a,
So
doesn't mean he's going to die.
It's the when you grow up and fuck somebody, you're gonna be thinking about me that first time.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we cut to Eichel and Queen Gedrin, and like the whole palace is fucking shaking apart, and he's like, the talisman's too strong, we gotta stop. And she's like, I'll never stop, I love it so much. And he's like, well, I'm gonna take all your money and leave. She's like, fuck off. So Eichel goes to leave, and we get a pretty cool fight here where Sonja's just standing there like an idiot while this one like guy with a pitchfork sneaks up behind her. But then Arnold's like, ha, and cuts his pike in half. And then like a whole row breaks out. And I like the kill where Falcon gets a guy, like clubs him a few times, throws him in like a minecart, and then wheels him over to like the pipe they came in on, and throws up the minecart so fast that the guy goes like sumo headbutt like right down the pipe.
Is that the Dookie pipe?
That probably the
Wilhelm-esque scream.
a garderobe, if you will. So now Arnold's like, I'll go left, you go right. Falcon, you go center. And Falcon's like, fall down this hole? Can do. And that's the dinner shoot. Like, do do they throw food down there and that's how it lands on the table? Because it just it dumps his fat ass out right into the middle of a dining room table.
Opened up into just a flat hole in the wall, so it didn't continue.
Maybe all the people down below just eat the shit of the people up above.
Well, so here's what I'm thinking though, right? It's a hole in the floor that goes to a chute that projects it on the table, and there's a minecart right there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the kitchen just loads that up with whatever scraps.
Yeah,
and then
could be.
Like, everyone ready?
Well, all the guards that were down there, like, kind of stared at Falcon for a minute. Are like, are we supposed to eat it?
And eventually they were like, yeah, I guess so.
Meat.
Falcon,
yeah.
Falcon grabs a turkey leg, which, of course, now he's stronger. He's using, like, Simon Belmont rules, and just starts beating everyone's ass in this room. Arnold shows up as well, also starts beating ass, and the cafeteria fight's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. He's making some sweet moves. He's got his bone.
The only questionable kill I had was Arnold puts a guy on one part of the table, which is broken like a seesaw, picks that part up, and the guy just rolls down to the other end of the table onto the ground, and he's like,
and he dies. Yeah, he's like,
you killed me.
Oh no.
I think he just knew what was coming.
Well, maybe he just got a bunch of slivers on the way down. He's like, ow. Okay, I'm done. I just want to go
this
home.
whole set's made of plywood.
Get me some tweezers and my mommy.
Considering the time, he just had a bunch of diseases, and that just caused a bunch of
That's true.
things that just rattle around his body.
It's like, oh, we didn't get dinner tonight. I was one citrus away from scurvy.
Yeah.
So Eichel now is trying to escape.
You okay, John?
And he opens the circular door of the castle, and
I'm afraid John has the itis.
So Tarn comes running in, and it's Tarn versus Eichel, and they're like Tarn slashes his gold sack, so like all the money spills out on the floor, and he's like, I'm gonna get you for that, and they have a bit of a sword fight, which then turns into Tarn just like kicking the shit out of him and hitting him with like a bone club. till Icol remembers he's like, I'm 20 times bigger than you. It just fucking falls off and slaps him and he lands to the ground.
Can I comment on the open hand slap for 1 second? Because, as a father, I'm not saying this to prescribe to anybody how they should treat their children, but I have vowed to never hit my child. I've so far done not.
But you've dreamed about it.
But watching that felt
He didn't vow
good
not to dream.
for a second. Because
no.
I never have, and I'm never planning on it. But boy, that was satisfying to watch.
Catharsis can come in many forms.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm ever going to do it. I'm simply saying if I do, I now know what it's going to look like.
If it happens in my head.
I've learned the technique.
Not as good as the Joffrey slap from Game of Thrones.
Oh, nothing's as good as that one. But this is a good open hand slap on a small child.
He's like, I'm gonna get away, and starts running for the door, and then just trips over nothing and lies down right in the path of the giant circular door, which squishes him in an Indiana Jones-esque manner.
Yeah.
And Tarn's just like, that's pretty gross. I'm gonna go run and try to, find Sonja now. And now, we've been glossing over it, but Matt mentioned it. The acting in this movie is highly suspect.
Yeah.
And it culminates here in this part where you need to see her face. I can't do it justice. But she's running down this hall and she's just like, Gedrin, where are you?
Where are they?
You just used way too much emotion on your face. Right?
Yeah.
I know.
Where are you?
I pooped a little.
So, no emotion on the upper half, but a Hulk Hogan style, ooh.
I mean, she is sweet Norway.
I gotta know.
Norway. She's Norway.
I think it's Danish.
Scandinavian.
Yeah, I do believe she is Danish.
Let's see.
But I think that is the thing. We got, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who at the time still, I think he was a lot more fluent with English at this point. But
Born in Denmark.
There you go.
There you go.
But yeah, we had a model who was literally we saw her on the cover of a magazine, put her as the lead, second in this movie. That we're gonna lie about who the lead is, and then a child and the guy who played Bluto. It's not top tier exactly here,
I think
so.
I think I could fairly say that Arnold is out-acting everyone in this film.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
With the exception of maybe Falcon.
Well,
yeah.
I'd say Falcon,
but he doesn't have much to do.
Yeah, he's just kind of hanging out.
That's the thing. The arguably the best actors in this have the smallest parts. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of a recipe for
that
disaster.
puppet was the best actor, the killing machine.
Yeah. But Brigitte Nielsen was also this is her first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't blame them for not giving her top billing because nobody knows who the hell she is.
Yeah, again, I bring it up more because it was a shitty deal where they basically lied to Arnold about him being essentially the star of this movie and calling it Red Sonja and then having her play second fiddle to him most of the time.
No, stop, please, stop.
Don't do it.
Wow.
So.
Check out 5.
Found a picture of 54-year-old and pregnant Brigitte Nielsen. Anyways,
nothing is off the table.
Yeah.
If she was 54?
4 years ago. That was 2018.
She's got to be older than that.
She was impregnated
she's
rectally for that one.
Wait.
She was very young when she made this movie. She was 21 or 22.
Yeah.
Either way.
Also with who?
No.
Flavor Flav.
Yeah, this was from 2018.
I'm hoping that's not true.
It's a big
fifth child.
Clock.
Yeah. Age 54.
Wow. Anyway.
So,
Giant necklace.
Check out this nefarious sneakiness. Tarn comes running into the throne room, right? And the handmaiden of Queen Gedrin here is like, oh, I don't know where Gedrin is, and I'm a lady, and I need a man to take care of me.
Also, I'm hot.
Here.
Come
I'm
on,
pretty
little
hot.
kid.
He's like, done, deal. Let's do this. I'll walk over there. He's got his fucking strut going.
Oh,
Dear Playboy.
He has got that strut down too.
Penthouse.
Yeah, and friggin' deer in the headlights here.
Dear Ranger Rick, because he's a kid.
He is immediately just snatched up by Queen Gedrin. Just does not even notice her in the peripheral vision.
Dear highlights.
Yeah, he's a prisoner now, and Sonja shows up through some back way into the throne, and it's like, let him go. You'll fight me. And so Tarn leaves. The handmaiden's just like, can I go? And just runs away.
I just don't want to be here anymore.
And
the castle's imploding. I'm gonna leave.
So we get Sonja versus Queen Gedren here, and we get a fight here. So
We do.
they throw down. First off, Gedren takes off her golden mask that she's been wearing the whole movie to reveal that the scar that Sonja gave her.
A small scar.
Yep. And they begin sword fighting, and it's pretty clear that
Still perfectly attractive.
Yeah, Queen Gedren is just like a lady holding a sword, and Sonja is like an Amazon princess because Gedren's not doing so well.
I also just want to throw out, I mean, on that point, it's not the best makeup job, and a couple times when she turned the right way, I was just like, oh, look, you could just peel that right off. Like, I can see the edges.
I'm pretty sure there's parts of the fight where she doesn't even have the scar on her.
I'm certain there are. I am certain.
I think Gedren's like war style is like have some dudes go burn down a homestead and sexually assault somebody. Like,
yeah.
Her whole strong side.
So the man that pushes the porn projector around does this like like super choreographed leaping grab behind on Sonja. It gets her in like a reverse bear hug, and she just throws him over her shoulder and fucking runs him through. But then the wizard's
Her
like,
stunt double.
that's true, yeah, very mannish stunt double. The wizard's like, I can do magic, and starts teleporting Queen Gedren around the room.
Zap, you're over here now.
I don't know if I missed this part or I just wasn't paying enough attention, but like it just starts cutting to him fucking around with potions and making these things happen. I'm just like,
he's right there.
Where is Scott? Why are we watching Dr. Forrester all of a sudden?
Don't blink, Red Sonja. She's over here now.
Yeah.
I think his plan is just to make Red Sonja run around until she's
Tire
tired.
herself out.
Once these creepy crawlers cool off, you're gonna be covered with bugs.
Exactly. All right, Beekman's World, what the fuck?
He like teleports her a few times, then finally onto her throne, and she's looking all cool, like haha. Yeah. So then Sonja starts like running up the stairs to attack her, and he's like, I got a dagger, and scrapes his little magic plate, which puts a cut on Red Sonja. And then he does it again, and then Red Sonja's looking at Gedren, sees Gedren look at the wizard like, yo, keep fucking cutting her. And Red Sonja's like, I'm sorry, hold on 1 second.
Hey, Gedren, I think I'm allowed a 15-minute lunch break.
I think she's on to us.
I get a 30 and 2 15s, okay? I'm going to take a 15 now.
Fucking wizard just stands there and she just runs on over, smashes his chemistry set. And this guy, he has these long black fingernails that you think he would at least try like a row or something.
Please, Sonja. I have to sign out for those chemicals every day.
But he reacted to her approach like an extra in Italian Spider-Man. Just,
those come out of my paycheck, you know.
Well, he also reacted as they treated this for most of the scene, which is just, she can't see me. Like, no, we can. You are very visible.
No,
what the fuck is
I'm
happening?
an extra. I'm not actually here. You want the queen.
I'm hiding behind the chemicals. So
didn't you want to see the teleporting queen some more?
It was almost like a comedy where you had like two people fighting each other and the music's building and building until one of them just stops and looks over at the DJ and is like, could you fucking stop with the music? That's what it felt like.
So
Sonja, this isn't very sexy of you.
Sonja makes the most pissed off face and swings her sword as some guy off the camera throws a severed head of the wizard in the air. Just fucking murders this dude.
Again, we were enjoying that Spirit Halloween trip.
Gedren's like, oh, I didn't think she would do that. Time to run away into the room with 1,000 candles in it. Where now the fight choreography has devolved into, I'll swing from the left, you swing from the right. Now you swing from the left, and I'll swing from the right.
And then just, I'm going to hold my sword right in front of me.
Yep.
You're going to do all the swinging.
Watch out for the wobbly floor.
One is to mention this amulet thingy, whatever, is causing, it's getting too powerful. It's causing the whole place to fall down. But this also is like we're gonna take this fight now to like a full half hour. But these people only had like a day of training, so yeah, you're just getting the same moves. That's...
Arnold shows up and he's like, Sonja, look at me, and like she's fighting this other fucking woman. Like, what do you want? What do you have to tell her? So Arnold and Falcon pick up the door, and Tarn goes,
Sonja, hold on, we're going to make this more complicated for you.
Yeah. So they deploy Tarn in there, and like he's just like, oh, gets stuck under this candle thing. Done.
Yeah. I'm here
to help.
I'm here to help you. Oh my God, help me!
Help be a complete liability.
Yeah.
Luckily, by this point, Gedrin is just out of stamina, and like the part in Return of the Jedi where Luke like succumbs to the rage and almost goes to the dark side and just unleashes his full fury on Darth Vader. And like cuts and cuts and cuts at his lightsaber until he finally knocks it out of his way and cuts Darth Vader's hand off. And it's like, you're like, no, Luke, don't be that intense. So picture that scene with like, except
I was like, keep going.
Except everyone involved didn't give one shit.
Do it.
So like Gedrin's just holding her sword and Sonja's just swinging at it for like an hour, and eventually Gedrin's sword breaks in half. And she's like, well, you might as well just stab me in the chest.
Yeah.
Sonja's like, can do.
These boobs ain't doing anything for anybody.
Tell you what, I'll lie you down on a green screen and we'll just make it almost look like you fell in that chasm.
Yeah.
Why is every like bad villain castle in the 80s built over a magma chamber? It just seems like a very, very bad engineering choice.
We did a lot of things wrong back then.
When you get defeated, the good guys can't move into your house.
So it costs a lot of money to build a castle like that, so you got to get the land cheap. Like
that's fair.
Or if we're going by Star Wars rules, to bring that up again, I guess wherever you got horribly maimed is where you want to build your house. So
that's why I live in West Haven.
Sonja's like,
take that, West Haven.
Here's the deal. This thing likes the dark, this talisman. It doesn't like the dark. It likes the light. I'm just going to throw it into this river of fire. And I guess lava destroys the talisman. I don't know. Either way, this being an 80s movie, this evil layer is fucking going up.
Oh, yeah.
And this is like the one part of the movie they do not half-ass. They blow the fuck out of this model.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I mean, the sets have all been really good.
Yeah.
Well, the castle did the best acting in the movie.
The castle did outact that puppet.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a legit cool series of explosions. This is like they put a whole like bundle of firecrackers in this castle model.
But this is also, again, one where we just like, this went on way too long. Like every couple minutes, something else is exploding.
And they reach more than one door that they have to figure out to open. But at this point, the movie's overstayed its welcome. Many strength rolls are made to open these doors, and they finally get out of the big circle door. And at this point, the castle circle door is blown completely apart and is replaced with a volcano. And Sonja and Co go running away, and then they all get on horses, and Sonja's like telling Falcon and Tarn like, the way back to Holcob is over there. Go. Over there. Arnold's like, I don't care if they watch.
Yeah, that's basically
In fact,
it.
I prefer.
And he's just like, I cannot date a woman unless she beats me in the fair fight. So she like, I'll try. And they like, they touch swords like 3 times and then start smooching. And it's like, credits, go, now.
Yep.
And the moral of the story is it's a story about a woman who didn't want a man's help, but
Yeah, that is the moral.
That's
Got
life.
it, whether she wanted
very
it or not.
unempowering. They say that like explicitly at this point in the movie.
Didn't want to date men, but was told she had to.
Yeah.
So ultimately she did.
Turns out it was pretty cool.
But also every
The
like
end.
major problem-solving event they faced was solved by Arnold Schwarzenegger being like, "I'm just really strong."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a team effort. Like, you know, she would get caught
Into
unawares,
peril.
and he would create the distraction that she needed to do her thing.
But I'd like enough of these encounters though were like she was handling herself, and he's just like, "Oh, I get to kill people."
Yeah.
Came over and started just murdering.
It's called teamwork.
It wasn't it wasn't
Playing
outright
to your strengths.
terrible on that front, but it is like a little too much of, she's the hero and she's gotten herself into trouble, and how's she gonna get out of this? I know, a wild Arnie appears and he just pops out of the tall grass and kills a bunch of people.
It's about what you expect from
yells,
85.
Yeah.
Like, Aliens excluded, it's about what you... Well, Aliens hasn't come out yet, but Alien excluded, it's about what you expect for 1985 in that regard. Probably even more ahead of 85. Either way, that's Red Sonja.
And it is.
It existed.
Yay!
Tony, the ghost of Christmas past.
We already had the past and present.
Oh,
Wait,
Ghost
on
of
future.
Christmas Future wants to know what in the future was already listed on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ghost of Christmas Future has told me I don't have one. So on RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave this a score of 21%.
Oh, what?
Audience gave this a score of 28%. Oh yeah, this was not appreciated because, again, the acting is terrible.
It's a serious liability.
It is terrible. But that's their personal thoughts and opinions. What about you and yours, Joe?
I'm not used to going first. Yeah, so this is not a good movie, but it is a serviceable film. Like, it's not... I think I'm gonna recommend it very lightly. The acting is objectively terrible. When Arnold is your strongest actor, that is a problem. Whatever they try to do for humor doesn't really work. The fighting's not that great. There's not really too many memorable moments or anything. But at the end of the day, like, the sets are cool, the costumes are cool, the battle is good enough, and it's like that right kind of schlocky stupid, but like that schlock fantasy stupid, that it works somehow. So this isn't a movie I would like show to people if like you want to see a cool movie, but this is a great like let's put something on in the background while we do something else kind of movie. Good, like if you're play this while you're working on your D&D game or something or whatever, playing Skyrim, I don't know.
Yeah, good Skyrim backdrop.
Yeah. And the music is actually quite serviceable. Like I said, the guy who made the soundtrack was probably the one who tried the hardest overall. Maybe the set designer, too. So overall, not a good movie, but a fun movie. Light recommend.
Okay. Matt.
I'm with Joe on this one. In that I would recommend it, but like not in that vein of, it's a great movie, watch it, but more also, for somebody who maybe is not as familiar with like 80s fantasy movies, it's a really good kind of compare and contrast for like somebody who watches a Lord of the Rings movie. It's like, look at the shit we had to deal with growing up and see where like fantasy movies as a genre from being kind of like pushed down as, like fat D&D players would go see this and that was it, to like the pop culture thing. I was really impressed. Joe mentioned the music and I thought the scoring was excellent, but the set design, like especially the use of practical effects for props, the sorts of like giant animal skeleton set pieces that were made were very, very impressive. And I feel like those people who were all in like the production, they're like, oh my God, dude, we're working on this movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be in it. Holy shit. And then the acting actually happened in it. And these poor people that poured their heart and soul into the sets and music and everything were just like, oh, God damn it.
The sets were based Frank Frazetta's paintings
that,
of Conan.
Yeah, that's awesome. But it was well executed, but I think it's a good comparison. Anybody who has a remote interest in fantasy, and even like I've got kids that are students, who are starting to get into D&D, and by extension, they're discovering fantasy both as a fiction like genre, and I just lost my train of thought there. And also a film as well. So they're looking into more things like, they've got things like Vox Machina to watch, but then they're hungry for more. So they want to check out more stuff. And there's a lot of schlocky, badly done stuff. And I think kind of like directing people back to like the roots of where fantasy, like Conan. I'd say my final closing argument would be needs more booba.
It did have booba.
Not enough.
But we are settling on
like
our
Conan
recommend
movies.
there.
Had a lot of booba.
For an 85 fantasy schlock movie, the booba level was.
But you could tell,
low, but...
like, some Italian producer walked in and it was like, but the booba somewhere, the projector, I don't know.
Oh. Is that where they got it for Demolition Man?
Yeah, that's exactly where they had that. I will say one other thing. I am a sucker for pale red-headed ladies. And this didn't do it for me as much as Sorcia, but this was probably number 2 growing up. That mullet has not stood the test of time.
Yeah, no.
But, little 10-year-old Joey didn't care.
I'll keep that train going by saying, light recommend. It's not exactly offensive or anything. It's certainly not as much as some of the trash we've watched. Mm-hmm. But it's also not that engaging or entertaining. So throw it on in the background or have, a bit of a laugh with some friends because we had a good time, while we were watching it together and everything. But ultimately, if you're looking for fantasy, there are better options. So I'll just leave it at a light recommend because, again, the acting is terrible. And while the sets might have been based on, the Conan drawings, they were, kind of made by like 4-year-olds. Well, I mean, that's a bit harsh, but it's just not 4-year-olds, but a modest budget, I'll say. Mm-hmm. Just a light recommend from me. Rob.
So first, I want to give thanks to Jennifer Lawrence, without whom there would not be any female lead characters. So
yeah, that's true. She invented the female.
Thank her for paving the way so we could have movies like Red Sonja. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I echo what the rest of you guys said. It's totally fine, fantasy action movie. It's, you get to see a pretty redhead lady sword fighting, and honestly, I felt a lot of times that the sword fights went on for too long. And they were just
everything went on for a little too long.
It sounds crazy to say, but there were too many sword fights.
I think the number was right, but the choreography was not different.
It's all the same. It's just the same. Bring, swing my arm over this way, swing my arm over that way. But other than that, I mean, it's a totally fine movie to have on. So I recommend it. Yeah, it's fun.
I kind of feel like, I know this isn't how it happened, but I feel like this was they're just keep doing the same fight thing. We have to end the fight scene. Oh, that's the acting? All right, let's back to the fight scene.
Okay, we're doing this one. We're doing this one thing. We're doing this. Okay. Have Arnold come in, kill somebody.
Yeah.
That's the wrap it up music.
Yeah.
All right, and special birthday boy John.
Obviously, since this was my pick, I recommend it. But that's mostly just because you already did Conan without me, you fuckers.
Because you are special birthday boy.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's the voice of an angel.
No, my first pick would have been Conan, but you already did that. So.
Oh my god.
What about Conan the Destroyer?
Hey, Matt,
I rank that below this.
Can you grab that case over there and get my teeny
that's
tiny little
call,
violin?
Actually.
Oh yeah.
Let me just play that for you.
Hang on. Does it go?
But yeah, if you like 80s movies, if you like schlock fantasy movies, you got the best of both worlds here. I have, huge nostalgia goggles for this, because that was basically, those were the 3 movies that we had when we were 10, was the 2 Conan movies and this one, especially they got any kind of regular airplay on, network television. So, it's not a good film, but it's a fun movie.
It's a romp.
Yeah, a romp.
A fantasy romp.
So yeah, I say check it out. Booba.
So
check out the Booba.
You know how I'm usually I would usually say this is a good movie to try to remake because this was a movie that was close, but definitely needs improvement. However, do not. Because I touched the tip of that iceberg today doing some internet research. Holy crap, has there been a bunch of bad ideas for remaking this movie.
Mm-hmm. Did you heard about the Rose McGowan one and stuff?
So the Rose McGowan one, that I heard about years ago, and I'm like, that's the wrong woman to play Red Sonja. That makes no sense. She's I don't even think she weighs 100 pounds.
Also, am I nuts, or in the remake of the Conan movie, she was one of the witches or something in that, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think she was one of the bad guys.
What a fucking weird...
Yeah.
To follow that up with... Okay.
But then they got into we're gonna race swap her. So like I'll give you like the chainmail bikini should go. I hate the chainmail bikini. I'll strip that from any character. But like
yes.
yeah. But the fucking
Indeed.
Then why are we watching it?
Yeah. But like pale skin and red hair is like intrinsic to Red Sonja.
Yeah,
like
that is
she's
kinda...
Red Sonja. I don't know. Either way, like
bigot.
Wait,
yeah, I am a bigot.
Yeah.
the reboot is actually in production now, though?
It's been changed a bunch
No.
of times.
Yeah, it's been in production, but on hold for like
Yeah.
8 years.
They
at
just
least,
recast someone who actually looks like Red Sonja.
So. Okay.
Yeah, but then I think they're trying to move forward. But it's John, stop dropping things from your pockets. We're running a professional operation
That's
here.
the other phone.
Listen to me while I go on my men's rights rant.
Stop doing all your drug deals and dropping all your
Yeah.
drug films. All right?
But this is one of those movies. Don't try to remake this movie. Just let it lie.
I'm gonna disagree. I want it to be redone, but
But it's not gonna.
The right
all right,
people.
Don't try it right now.
Yeah, you can't
wait,
do it right now.
Yeah, wait
It's too-
a little bit
It's
longer.
too
and-
awful out
yeah.
there right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's more. Don't remake this movie to remake this movie. Remake this movie when someone has a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't let Disney move.
Or
Uh,
Paramount, or
So anyway,
Universal, or
let's.
any of them.
Or Amazon for that.
Or
matter.
Amazon.
Now it's.
Warrior
The
Galadriel.
sun's coming up. Let's
Yeah.
wrap this shit up.
Oh, sorry, Tony's getting uncomfortable. Everybody, we gotta stop talking.
Well, also, I don't want to finish.
Yeah. I
You sound-
have
you sound like
preparations to do
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
for John's
Yeah.
birthday party. I have to get to.
I need to come. All right. Well, sounds like recommends pretty much all around. Are we?
We should roll. Yeah, let's roll.
Okay. Let's roll. Autobots.
Worst case, we just delay it a week.
There you go.
And I think it's my roll, isn't it?
Who the hell knows?
Yeah, worst case, we just tell people we got a show coming up that's not going to happen.
Best
Oh,
case
no, what
scenario.
would we do? And they had their
Did it-
calendars all set and everything.
Did it burst out of its bag? Is that what I'm?
I don't know.
Tony has. Well, yeah, you do that every week. But Tony's looking for the die and has just pulled a shredded piece of leather that looks kind of like its normal sack it hangs out in. It might have escaped.
No. I had this.
Oh, that's a
From
cape.
That's a Batman cape.
Okay. I thought it just
There it is.
powered out. Okay. You got a list?
I do.
Boom. 13. Unlucky number.
Red Dawn.
Oh,
1984.
Red Sonja to Red Dawn.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
All right.
Wow.
Best time for that film too.
Wolverines!
All right. Well then.
So, it'll
Ready to
either-
kill some Rooskies.
It'll either be Red Dawn, or you still have to be.
Yeah,
Depending on
You
schedule.
know, it's,
Yeah.
Hey guys, guess what? Next time there will be an episode. You will enjoy an episode. Next time we record and put out an episode. It will be hosted by Mr. Black and feature a bunch of aging fat men.
Wrap it up, yo.
Hey, bye.
Adios.
That's a wrap. Goodbye, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy birthday, John. Happy New Year.
Good night, everybody.
Hey.
See you in 5 years.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, and if possible, leave a review. If you have questions, comments, or would like to sponsor an episode, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can buy a t-shirt, hoodie, and more at Teespring. or gain access to exclusive content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/4ampodcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.